Hi, today we will discuss a few tips and tricks that will get you ready to build your glider. We have three categories we will go over today. The first category is aerodynamics. Aerodynamics are the forces that act on a glider when in flight. We will only discuss two, drag and lift. Drag is the force that slows the forward movement of a glider or a plane. It is a force that is not wanted on a traditional glider as it shortens its flight duration and efficiency. Drag can be minimized many ways. Smoothing out these edges, such as these as well, helps reduce drag. These lifted wings on the edge helps reduce drag as well. And one of the best ways to reduce drag is by squaring out really squared areas, such as these. Lift is the upwards force that keeps any glider or plane airborne and is essential for flight. The force comes from the wings and its shape. These shapes are called airfoils. As you can see, the biggest physical difference is the missing arc on this one and this arc. This one on the left has a higher lifting force, but has more drag. This one has a lower lifting force and less drag. This is the better choice for a heavier cargo, while this is better for long distance. Another way to achieve a greater lifting force is by manipulating the angle of attack. As you can see on the diagram on the presentation, it is the angle of the wings according to the fuselage. A greater angle will increase lift, but also increase drag. Drag is not always bad, but we have to make sure it is working with us and not against us. Once the glider is fully built, we gotta make sure the center of gravity is in the center of the wings. This is important due to the forces of lift coming from the wings. If the center of gravity is placed anywhere else on the plane, it will cause the plane to roll. This red sticker shown in the center of the wings is the optimal position for the center of gravity. By placing it on top of any object in that position, it will show you if it's balanced or not. As you can see, it was not balanced. By adding this weight in the front, it results in a balanced glider. Another important tip to keep in mind is to have your launching point on your air and your center of gravity. This ensures a proper launch and will not result in roll or your plane crashing and breaking. Roll is also not bad, but we got to make sure it's working with us and not against us. The total weight is also important and has to be minimized. Any unnecessary mass should be removed or sanded. The less weight will result in a better flight and more control. Another tip is to reduce the weight in the tail area before adding weight to the front. As you can see, it was shaved off. This results in your total weight being less, and it also reduces drag. The placement of the ping pong balls is also important for two reasons. Each ping pong ball carries weight, and the weight affects the center of gravity and its balance. Due to the weight of the ping pong balls, you have to organize them symmetrically along the fuselage to ensure a balanced glider. As you can see, it is symmetrical on both sides. Therefore, it is balanced. Another thing to watch for is the surface area of each ball. The surface area creates drag that is induced into the glider. To prevent further drag, you organize it in an efficient way as to have the rear balls draft behind the front balls. In conclusion, to have a successful cargo glider, you will have to balance all the forces mentioned before through the process of trial and error. This is my first attempt at a cargo glider for accuracy. As you can see, I went for a cargo space underneath as a fuselage. This is a fully working plane that actually lands on the target. As you can see, it's balanced. It has a very aggressive airfoil and angle of attack due to its added weight from the fuselage being a cargo space as well. As you can see, due to the cargo area, the glider resulted very, very heavy That results in broken wings all the time, as you can see. The repairs I have had to make, and launch after launch, it is not very accurate, but it does work. This is my second attempt at a cargo glider for accuracy according to the high school rules. As you can see, the ping pong balls are mounted on in a piggyback kind of style on both sides. The pros of this is that it will have less total weight. The cons is that these balls will be exposed to drag throughout the flight. Due to the reduced weight and difference from the first iteration is that, as you can see, less damage visible. And when in flight and launch after launch, it is more accurate. Due to the placement of the ping pong balls, I had to add this piece to the rear wing in order to get a correct flight pattern for where I needed to land. This glider was built for distance according to the middle school rules. As you can see, these ping pong balls were organized in a way as to reduce drag, as drag is the force that we really do not want for this glider, as less drag results in a longer flight. In order to reduce drag as well, an airfoil that is not aggressive was used. It has less lifting power and less drag. Another way to get less drag is these lifted wingtips and shaving off squared edges, as you can see right here and right here. Another way to have a longer flight is by reducing the total weight. On the rear, the fuselage was shaved in a manner will help reduce drag and help reduce total weight. The placement of these ping pong balls were towards the front in order to efficiently use their weight as counterbalance to have the center of gravity centered on the wings. Another nice tip and trick is these wingtips, as you can see, are bent. This acts as an upward motion that helps move the center of gravity towards the center of the wings, which results in less total weight. We will now show you a side-by-side comparison of both gliders. As mentioned before, this has a less aggressive airfoil, less lifting force, but less drag, while this has a more aggressive airfoil, which has a very high lifting power. As you can see by the size difference, the middle school glider wing is substantially bigger than the high school one. It has to be bigger in order to have enough lifting force coming from the airfoils. And now back to you, Jeanette.
Thank you, Luis. That's a lot of great information for